Good morning and welcome to the board. Good morning and welcome to the Board of Adjustments and Appeals Board regular meeting on Thursday, October 23rd, 2025 at 10 a.m. If everyone could kindly silence your cell phones and electronic devices. We're welcoming new members today, Rajiv, who I'm ensured is on his way, Aurora, and Barry Donaldson. Nice to have you, Barry.
Good to be here.
Okay, get to the agenda. If the town clerk could please call roll.
Okay, Member Donaldson,
Here.
Member Aurora isn't here yet. Member Gordon.
Here.
Member Lianson. Member Weiss is absent. Secretary Rosen
Here.
and Vice Chairperson Thornson.
Here.
Thank you. And Town Attorney Rubin. Thank you.
Okay, we could all rise, please, for the Pledge of Allegiance. United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, approval of the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda? If not, is there a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
I make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second. Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Okay. By the way, that is our newest member, Rajiv Aurora. Just walk in. Hello, Rajiv. Okay. Swearing in of the public. For those giving testimony related to the application on this agenda, please stand and raise your right hand to be sworn in.
Okay. By the authority vested in me as a notary of the state of Florida, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Okay. For those giving, okay, we just did that. The approval of the minutes. Are there any corrections to the minutes of November 12th, 2024? Okay. Hearing none, may I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Make a motion to approve the minute.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unfinished business, says we have none. New business. There's a development order application number P2-25-31 Seagate of Highland Beach Condominiums, Inc. Do I go on with the next part, Linelda?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Consideration of application number PZ-25-31 by Jason R. Borden, PEONS Engineers and Architects for a variance to allow a reduction in the front yard setback from 40 feet to 8 feet 7 inches and to reduce the side yard, the south setback, from 12 to 7 feet in order to construct a fire pump structure for the property located at 3224 South Ocean Boulevard. Do any board members have any ex parte communications to disclose? Okay.
No.
Is everyone clear what those are? Some of you new members?
But-
Okay,
Oh.
just want to make sure. Thank you so much.
All right. At this time, I now open the public hearing. Town planner, please present your recommendations regarding the application.
Good afternoon. Actually, Another, I'm having a problem with the PowerPoint. I did try to share my screen, but it's not. So here's the PowerPoint. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I did that. Yeah, it's right here. It's the PowerPoint's right there. All right. Go to which one? It's not sure. I feel, but it's. Sorry, we're having some technical difficulties. I'll go ahead and start. For the record, Ingrid Allen, Town Planner. I was going to start with the aerials, just to make sure you all have your bearings in terms of the subject property, which is the Seagate condominium. The aerials actually start on page 19 of your packets. You could see that the proposed fire pump structure is located on the southeast corner of the Seagate property. If you look at, let's see, the, oh, I think we might get the PowerPoint working. Oh, I have to start there many times. I did. There, okay. Why was it? Okay, I think we're good. Okay, there we go. Go. Okay, I could show you the aerials then. Okay, so as I said, the aerials and the photos that I'm going to share you, they're all in your packet. So this is a subject property. And the proposed fire pump structure is proposed right here in the southeast corner. You could see the 4 different buildings in the Seagate community. Here you have an aerial. This is looking northward. Again, the southeast corner is where the structure is proposed. Obviously, that's South Ocean Boulevard. Here you have another view. This is looking eastward. So the structure would be located in this area. And then with this one, we're actually looking southward here. I've actually gone ahead and put a little arrow here, which shows the current bulk storage area. When I get to the survey of the property, which again is in your packet, you'll see that this area is currently bulk storage. It's, as I said, on the survey, the applicant has indicated that they're going to obviously remove this. This is where the fire pump structure is going to be located, and that the community will no longer have a bulk storage area. I had asked the applicant whether they were going to relocate it somewhere else, and they indicated that they won't have it at all. So just want to make that clear. And here we have 2 photographs. This is the existing bulk area. Again, this is where the structure will be located in this vicinity. And there's the other picture as well. So I just wanted to recap, the request is again for a variance to allow a reduction in the front yard setback. That's from 40 feet to 8 feet 7 inches, and to reduce the side yard setback on the south side from 12 feet to 7 feet in order, again, to construct the fire pump structure. The proposed fire pump structure measures 472 square feet. It's a height of 10 feet. According to the applicant, the structure will house 2 new fire pumps, which will service the 4 residential buildings of the community, as well as the fire hose connections at the seawall and the dock area. The condo was built in 1970. That's according to the Palm Beach County property appraiser. On page 9, I've gone ahead and provided you the code definition of what an accessory structure is. This is an accessory structure. So I'll have you look at that if you haven't reviewed it already. And let's go to the additional slides. We have the plans that the applicant has provided. So again, this is a survey of the property. As I mentioned earlier, this is the bulk storage area. This is where the structure is being proposed. You have the conceptual site plan. I know it's really tiny down here. That's where the proposed structure is. Again, this is a tabular data that gives you the information about the structure. They've gone ahead and done an enlarged plan. So the top here, this is the existing plan, and this is what's proposed down here. You could see the diagram showing the fire pump diagram here. And here you have the elevations. So elevation A is the side view of the building, and the elevation B is the front and the back. Here are the remaining elevations. The applicant has also provided some renderings for you. So this is an existing lift station that is adjacent to the property. You can see that they're not proposing to remove any of the landscaping here, so it will be, you won't be able to see the structure. This is from the parking lot view. This is from the sidewalk view. This is the front elevation. So you can see this is how the structure will look. And here you have the aerial view here. There's the structure right back here. Then you have across the street. Then you have walking down the sidewalk. Again, all this landscaping will remain. And then you have a rendering from building B balcony. I did want to add that the applicant indicated that they will not have any changes to the number of parking spaces at the property. Now, the board must determine that the application is consistent with the variance criteria. On page 9 and on the top of page 10, I provided you those criteria according to our code. The applicant has provided their responses to each criteria. That's on page 12 and 13 of your packets. According to the applicant, the current fire pump rooms located in each of the 4 residential buildings are insufficient to meet the current National Fire Protection Agency code requirements. These requirements include an increased flow rate, which requires larger pumps and clearances for repair and maintenance. We do have the town fire chief here, the assistant fire chief, excuse me, and the fire marshal, Matt Wellhalf. He's gone ahead and provided a letter of support, which is on page 26 of your packets, and I'm sure Mr. Wellhalf will be glad to address any questions. According to the code, the vote of at least 4 members of the board is necessary to grant the variance. Now, if the board does approve the variance, which the variance is based on these conceptual plans, which I just put up on the slide. Their date stamp received by the building department on October 1st, 2025. The applicant will be required to go before the planning board and the town commission for consideration of a major modification. For major modifications, the planning board is a recommending board, their advisory board. They'll provide a recommendation to the town commission. And the town commission has the final authority, is the final decision-making authority for major modifications if it applies to a multifamily. If this was a single family, the planning board would have the final authority. So with that said, I'll be glad to address any questions. We do have the authorized agent here to address any questions as well.
Good to see you, Ingrid. One question, the height of the structure that you noted was 10 feet,
Yeah.
but actually it's sitting 4 feet above grade, correct? So that would make it actually more of 14-foot structure?
Well, we have a definition of building height in our code. It's in the zoning code, section 30-131. So our building height is based on finished floor elevation. So that's how we determine building height in the town. So it's from the finished floor elevation to a flat roof, or if it's a pitched roof, it's, to the pitch. But yeah, so it's based on finished floor elevation.
Okay.
Yeah.
But for code
Yes.
reasons, but visually it's a
Yeah.
14-foot building.
I
Okay.
guess you could look at it that way, but again, based on our definitions.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah, I do have a question for the applicant. Do you need any approval from the Seagate residents, or because this is considered a necessity, there's no approval required?
And if I may just clarify, the actual applicant, when you look at their application on page 11, is the Seagate Highland Beach condominiums. Just
Good morning, everybody. I'm Jason Gordon, structural engineer and director for ONS Associates. We've been working very closely with the association. We've been engaged by the association, and the project's moving forward with the approval of the association.
I have a question,
Sorry.
unless you want to go. Okay. Looking at A200, the side view of the proposed building. If I had a magnifying glass, I could read the dimensions, but so I'll let you fill in the blanks. It looks like the roof of the building is 18'6" off of finished grade. Is that
I believe it should be 14'6". It's at elevation 18'6". So the grade elevation in that area varies between plus 3.8 and plus 4.2. So if we bring the foundation up to the required plus 8 foot, and then we put the 10-foot structure on top of it, we're at elevation 18 or 18.5.
okay? Can you address the need to raise the finished floor so high off the parking lot?
So that's one of the reasons why the existing fire pump locations was unsuitable, because the current Highland Beach code requires that any essential services for the building be elevated 1 foot above base flood elevation. And not the NFPA, the GIS, or FEMA, I'm sorry, the FEMA base flood elevation for this property is plus 7.5. Or is it 7.0? 7.0. So,
with 6 minutes.
right.
So the
7.0.
building is being raised to satisfy that requirement?
The the foundation or the floor is being raised above that elevation to meet the requirements of the Highland Beach code.
Okay, thank you.
Few other questions. So given your dual pump arrangement, I understand the building's going to be 12-foot wide, 32-foot long. That doesn't surprise me. But if it were located somewhere else, that shape could change. And that leads me to my next question.
Okay.
There's a statement in the application that says there's only one location on the property that can accommodate the fire pump systems. Explain why the structure or multiple structures could not be added to the side of the existing stair towers at each building, or why it is not possible to construct the desired two pump structures on the grounds near the clubhouse well within the required setbacks.
Okay. So the area adjacent to the stair towers that you mentioned doesn't have adequate clearance for the equipment to be installed so it can be serviced and the parking can be maintained and access to the equipment can be maintained. The area inside the essentially courtyard space next to the clubhouse is essentially already assigned to other functions and areas or uses within the association. And part of the reason why this area was selected is because the homeowners have a certain expectation and to not block their current views and line of sights and disrupt their living space because they've been there, they've paid for that. That's one of the expectations that they have. It's not within the grounds of the association to take that away from those residents.
Okay. But to be clear, I'm talking about a freestanding structure, not something attached to the clubhouse.
Yeah,
You
so
know,
if there was
within the range of assigned things. In other words, I'm not saying take a space in the clubhouse. I'm saying
Adjacent to
freestanding,
or
right,
yeah.
adjacent, yeah. So also the application on page 12 references 8 properties that have permanent structures within the 40-foot setback in town. Do you know the nature of those 8 structures?
There was at least one security building. There are what we would consider ancillary or support buildings for those specific properties. We didn't go through and investigate each individual one to determine the nature of the building that was there, but we identified or flagged properties that had structures of some sort adjacent to or within that 40-foot setback.
Okay. And to circle back to the height of the structure and looking at the photographs we just saw, I noticed in here there was a statement that the landscaping adequate, it's going to screen it. When I looked at those photographs, though, it doesn't look like it's going to, but we don't have any proposal for enhanced landscaping.
So from the sidewalk and A1A,
Yes.
the existing landscaping will screen the structure. From within the property itself, there's no landscaping proposed to screen the structure. In our opinion, the building that we're going to put there, the structure we're going to put there is more attractive than the bulk storage that they currently have in that place. So it seemed counterintuitive to feel that we needed landscaping for an improvement.
Yeah, but my concern is strictly with the sidewalk side, not
Yes.
within your own property, of course. Let's see. So I want to skip ahead. I do have a question for the Assistant Chief Fire Marshal. So the letter.
Matt Wellhalf, Assistant Fire Chief, Highland Beach Fire Rescue.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for being here.
Yes, sir.
So the letter in the package mentions the use of natural gas to run the fire pumps with connections to a gas main that's on A1A.
Mhm.
Okay. That would eliminate the need for an alternate power source. But here's my concern, and you're going to have to educate me a little bit on this. It's my understanding in NFPA 20 that NFPA 20 requires a dedicated on-site fuel source. So if there are exceptions to that, I'm wondering if you could tell us what are the exceptions, and in your mind, are they going to be able to meet those exceptions?
So that, the fact that the on-source fuel source is FPU, natural gas, meets that requirement. We're not, there's not an alternate power source requirement. And that was why I suggested that they do this. So if you had a diesel fire pump, for example.
Yeah.
And they can, these types of pumps can run on dual fuel. So if that's, a concern, but, you know, I would consider natural gas in that area to be a pretty reliable, more reliable than FPL,
Hmm.
as you guys have probably seen in the last few months.
Yeah, well,
With the, we had a power outage yesterday, as a matter of fact. So,
okay.
Yeah.
so that was one of the suggestions. So let me, this kind of, the location and everything for this particular project kind of came from me. We need a location that's accessible. The infrastructure underground for the entire project, property is all being replaced. When this was built, and I can't answer as to why, and I can only tell you that in Highland Beach, this isn't the only property that we have issues with. When they were originally built, I don't know why they weren't built to code. Now this project was done, under Del Trail Fire prior to Palm Beach County being in charge. There's a, you know, just, the circumstances back, and I grew up here, lived here my whole life, been in the fire service for over 40 years. So, you know, the history of some of these things I'm pretty well aware of. The locations of the pumps that are there, they can't handle where the panels are going to be. We're reducing the number of pumps down to 2 because they're allowed to use, a single pump for 2 buildings. One of the pumps is 1,000 GPM pump. That's for the more newer buildings. With addition, they have, I believe they have 3 risers or 4, 3. So we're improving the systems and bringing them into compliance. All the, like I said, all the infrastructure there, we're adding a fire hydrant on property. Our trucks have about 700-800 feet of supply line. To get to building A, for example, the closest hydrant, just, you know, because you can't go the way the bird flies, you got to zigzag through the parking lot, about a 900-foot run. So we're going to be under 200 feet to pretty much every building in there with connection. The state fire code is 100. So I can't get, you know, I can't change a lot of things to be 100% compliant. This gets us in a really good place. It's not perfect. I get, you know, that there's some concerns about the location of the structure, but it works for the fire department. You know, and I'm not, you know, I know there's aesthetics and all those things that come into play. The rooms where the pumps are, first of all, don't meet the elevation requirement, which you guys already heard. The other problem is the control panels and all that won't work in the inside there anymore. The pumps, the requirements are different than they were when everything was installed. The system's going to have an alarm panel that's tied to it to notify us of pump failure, you know, pump run, a whole bunch of other, you know, tampers and flow switches that are attached to the system. That doesn't have a location, so we need a building to put that in. The building's not going to have an address necessary. It's going to be addressed to one of the structures, but we already know that, you know, if we have a fire pump, where we need to go. We have a pump run. That's probably going to be the first place we're going to go. They're going to be updating the FDC, fire department connections to the buildings. So this is like a massive project these people are taking on, and I appreciate it because it's going to make them safer and it's going to make us way more efficient. You know, we're right now, just so you know, in the urgency of this, you know, these are 15-story buildings. 10, what's it? 10, but at any rate, the water pressure from street in Highland Beach is roughly 40 to 50 PSI. You know, you get up to the upper floors, there's not very much water pressure up there. So we have to make sure we have water supply and can charge the systems. You know, 40 PSI, you lose 5 PSI every 10 feet above grade. You can do the math, you're about at 0 around eight stories, right? So this is something that's critical. I can only, you know, ask that you kind of help it along. We've been working on this for 2 years. I've been, you know, like trying to get everybody in the right place. And this is kind of one of the final hurdles. And I appreciate what you guys do. I do. I've been, like I said, I've been in this business for a long time, retired from Boca. Ingrid and I have worked together over there, here. So, you know, that's why I'm here. Just to, you know, if you have any other questions, I'm certainly happy to answer.
Thank you. I still have a problem with
Concern with the-
fuel source, but
I mean, you know, if you, the question is it a reliable fuel source? is any fuel source fully reliable and under certain circumstances, especially in a hurricane? I've been deployed to Ian most recently, Andrew back in 92, Katrina in, when that went through up in Gulfport, Biloxi. And I've seen all those areas. Yeah. Yeah, sure.
I just wanted to clarify that right now, the system that the association has specified and they're working with the installer to provide is a diesel powered system with dedicated diesel fuel tanks within the structure.
Oh, I thought you were trying to put natural gas.
No, the generator is tied to the natural
Oh.
gas, but the,
Understood.
I don't know if that helps with your question, but they are intended to be diesel.
It answers my question, yes. Now, but except it raises another question. Where is the actual part? Is it running off a generator and where is that located? How the pumps themselves run directly off the diesel fuel?
Yes, the
And the
pumps,
diesel fuel is contained within the structure.
yes, which contributes to the overall size of the structure.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you.
I have a quick question. I'm looking at the, right after the elevations, there's some pictures or some generated images, and I'm looking at the two at the bottom here. It looks like it is aesthetically speaking, it's going to be almost blocked in by shrubs or hedges.
On two sides or two elevations, it will be
Okay.
screened by the existing
Okay,
landscaping.
because I see it in one photo on the bottom right, it looks like the hedges are, they almost go the entire height. Yet on the photo on the bottom left, it certainly looks like it's a lot higher than the hedges. And that is the from the sidewalk. It's going to be very visible from the sidewalk, it looks like, is what I'm saying.
Okay, the landscaping on the sidewalk side is quite substantial. I don't have the exact number in front of me, but that would be some additional information that we can provide, or how would we go about resolving that?
Well, we could add it maybe as part of the building permit or.
I mean, or it could be a condition that it be fully screened,
Yeah, and I'm wondering.
whatever that
Yeah.
might take. Okay, sorry.
Are there any similar structures this close to the sidewalk as well, is what I'd like to.
I've been here almost 6 years. We've not had another variance request for a fire pump structure.
Yeah,
So I don't know what's out there. I mean, staff did not do an assessment of all the
Sure,
properties in the town.
sure.
But as far as another property coming in for a variance to
Yeah.
do a similar type of structure, as I said, in the 6 years I've been here, we haven't had anyone
Okay.
come in yet.
Thank you.
That helps.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Is the color of the structure going to be white as depicted in the
So-
renderings?
Right now, that matches the color of the buildings on property.
Mhm.
Ultimately, it will be determined by the association, and it will be a structure that can be painted and, adjusted as need be. Is there a preference or recommendation from the?
Well,
board?
I'm wondering whether, since the hedge around there may have some issues from season to season and all, would you consider muting the street side, the exposed side to the street, maybe a little darker color, or making it less obtrusive?
That's certainly something that could be easily accommodated.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, it says here that it's not time for the applicant to make the presentation, please. Or have we?
Yeah, yeah, unless they have
I
anything
thought so.
else to say.
Yeah,
Like to add anything by all means.
okay.
I don't have too much to add. I
Oh.
just, it's been like Mr. Welloff said, it's been a long process and there's been a lot of moving parts and there's a lot of things happening at the property. We appreciate, your time being available and listening to what we have here. And, like I said, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You mentioned, I think the assistant fire chief mentioned, or somebody did, that there's many other buildings that have, this kind of problem where there isn't enough pump availability for covering for fire. Should we expect other to follow suit once this is approved? Do we know?
I'll address that to the chief because he's gone out to different properties. We have a lot of older properties in the town, as you all know. Again, this building's from 1970. I think you probably have seen now that we have our own fire department. I'll defer to Mr. Walhap, but I'm sure he can elaborate on that.
I don't expect that. And the reason is that, in the other building, I probably have roughly, or we've had more than 15 fire pumps that are in need of replacement or have been replaced. Still have some outstanding issues. And a lot of the, buildings, they have parking structures. They have areas that were dedicated to that purpose. And the areas within the buildings are big enough. So it becomes a fire pump replacement. What we're running into is power issues because as I said, the controller panel needs to be, is required to be within the area of the pump now. In some of these buildings, they're in two different locations, meaning the shut off. There's just some changes that need to occur. We're running into some of these problems internally. And you know, it's just a matter of building to building, things are what they are. So they're not all none of these projects or properties were ever built in, you know, the same manner. So the problems that are inherent to each one are just at that building. There's no place to put these pumps internally at that property. They just didn't, because the rooms that were there are being, have to be used for some other purposes, and they weren't big enough regardless. And they don't meet the height requirement for all.
I just wanted to make sure that we're not setting some kind of precedent where now there's like, 15 other people going, hey, they got this variance. Now everybody else wants the same variance.
And to be honest, I mean, I went through, before we ever got to where you got with you all, we had a lot of discussion about, we knew we were gonna probably land here. And we were looking for alternatives, and this is kind of where we've ended up. So, that's why I say, we've done a lot of background work on this. A couple other issues, with regard to the water system itself. We wanted to be closer to the main connections. We have a 10 and 14-inch main off A1A. The water department would like us to be a lot closer to those connections. Backflow preventers are going to be right there. There's a lot of other things that are going to be added to this system that really, that aren't really, that you guys don't really see. It's a huge problem, very large.
And
Thank you.
Just to add to that, legally, every variance is considered on its own. So just because you grant a variance for one does not obligate you to grant a variance for another.
Perfect.
I don't know if it's helpful information, but just order of magnitude to some of the things that Mr. Weloff has mentioned. He mentioned that the existing pumps were undersized in the original construction. So what we found when we started working on this project is existing pumps were 250 gallons per minute. What's required by code and what they should have had when they originally were instructed were 750 gallon per minute for 2 buildings and 1,000 gallon per minute for 2 buildings. So that's kind of the order of magnitude of change that we're trying to incorporate into the project we're doing here.
Thank you. Linda, sorry, I don't see here where we take the vote. Is that what we're doing next? I'm assuming
There's a motion.
a motion. Yeah, a motion. Okay. Okay, well, as Linelda said, a motion to close the public hearing and a motion to approve the project. All in favor, say aye.
Wait, somebody has to make a motion, needs to be seconded.
Oh, thank you, thank
You're
you.
welcome.
I'll make the motion to close and
Wait.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Okay, that's the only one you need to do.
I
Thank
think we
you.
needed to.
A motion to approve the variance application.
I will second.
Member Aurora,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Thorson,
Yes.
and Member Donaldson?
No,
No. Okay. Member Lianson?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And Secretary Harris?
Yes.
Member Gordon?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Motion approved. Public hearing closed.
That will be. Okay. 4-1.
Okay. The next one on our agenda is a nomination of the chairperson, vice chairman, chairperson, and secretary for the term ending October 23rd, 2026. Nomination of vice chairman. Are there any nominations? Alex, I'm going to go first. Are there any nominations for chairperson?
Well, I nominate Michael Thorson as a chairperson.
Thank you. You. I gratefully accept and I thank you all. I look forward to serving with.
Well, unless there are any
Thank you.
other nominations, any other
Yes.
nominations?
Are there any nominations for vice chairperson?
Okay.
Any nominations for vice chairperson? I could recommend Rajiv since he's new. He hasn't said anything. Right. Okay.
All right, there you go.
Okay, we need a tiebreaker, folks.
A point of order, are new appointees eligible this year, or do they have to wait a year?
That's a good question.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay.
There's nobody.
Here, if they don't accept the nomination, then we go to a normal.
Okay. Okay. So,
So. now you
are
have-
there nominations?
Are there any further nominations?
Yeah, any further nominations? Okay, so we're still waiting on vice chairperson.
Right, so pause there. Is there any more nominations for the vice chairperson? Okay, so now you ask, member Aurora, do you accept?
I don't think they need to if he accepts. So I'd rather he
Okay.
accept.
Well, then you can decline and Mr. Langston. All right, that makes it easy. You accept. Yeah, he accepted.
Thank you.
Joel is now and I guess we say Joel is now the chairperson, vice chair?
Vice Chair.
Okay.
They need a secretary as well.
No. Okay. Are there any nominations for secretary?
So currently, we have a secretary on the board,
Okay.
Mr. Harris.
Oh.
So if you all choose to keep him, you can, or you can nominate someone else.
Okay. All in favor to keep the secretary as it is? Aye. Okay.
Right.
Motion-
So now we just need a motion to approve all the nominations. You can make one motion.
Okay, motion to approve all the nominations. Say aye.
Well, you need a motion and a second. You can make the
Oh,
motion.
second.
Someone second it?
Second.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion carries.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Just a reminder, there's a food truck event at St. Lucie Catholic Church tonight, 5 to 8. Hope to see everybody there. And that's all we have. The meeting is now adjourned.
Thank